Welcome to Forest Chat, where we talk about individual endeavour in Western Australia, what it takes, what it means, and how you do it. I'm your host, Paul Vandermeer, and in today's episode, we're talking with Andrew Nugteren and Joash Dekker about Soul Runners. Andrew joined Soul Runners about 6 months ago, and Joash joined about 2 years ago, and here they are talking all about it. So welcome to Forest Chat, Andrew and Joash.
Fantastic. Thanks, Paul. It's great to be here.
Yeah, hey Paul. Yeah, likewise.
Great to have you here. Gentlemen, what is Soul Runners?
So I guess I can start with giving the official response to that, and that is that we are a group of Christian runners who want to motivate people to get out and run, encouraging them to have fun doing it and raise funds for those in need. We are demonstrating the love of Christ to those in less fortunate circumstances. So in everyday speech, we like to organise running events that are family friendly, Christian orientated, and good for the community.
So you do a number of events by the sound of that?
Yes, so Soul Runners was started in 2019, and our first event was held in 2020, and that was the Swan River Half, which we have run annually since then. And just recently, last year, we started our second event, the Trail Blaze, which is a trail running event, and both of them held in Perth.
Swan River Half, that runs off Langley Park, doesn't it, in Perth CBD, and is that right?
The Swan River Half starts in South Perth foreshore in Sir James Mitchell Park, and it runs around the rivers,
Across the Narrows, through Elizabeth Quay, and then across the Borloo Bridge.
A nice easy loop that lots of runners would be relatively familiar with, but you guys actually put it together as an event.
Yeah, so it's a 5K, 10K and a half marathon event, Paul. People can take any of those three distances. There's a lot of families who might walk with their kids. There's people who run. There are people who are right at the front of the pack going hard out trying to get a PB. And there's people who are just there for the atmosphere, just to enjoy it. Very family friendly, lots of support and encouragement. And yeah, there'll be people walking the 5K, maybe the 10K as well. An opportunity for everyone to tackle something that might be a challenge for them, and they can get a sense of accomplishment once they cross the finish line.
Fantastic. And what sort of numbers have you been getting to that event?
So when we started out, it was reasonably small. We had close to 300 runners at the first event, and since then we've built up by about 100 runners each year. And our next event, which we've planned for the 2nd of May 2026, we're hoping to have 1,000 participants.
1,000, that's a lot of runners.
That's 1,000 runners across all three of those race distances. So that's not 1,000 people doing the full half marathon, but across all those three distances.
Yeah, that's still a lot of support for an event.
It is a lot, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Do you do anything that makes it more social at the start-finish areas, or is it just show up and run, or is there a bit more to it than that?
Yeah, so our start and finish area is structured to support the families and other participants and others who are watching as well. And we have gazebos set up, we have organised a coffee van to be there, and just to encourage really good atmosphere around that start-finish area.
And that helps with making it family-friendly and that sort of thing, doesn't it? Having some facility at the start.
Yes, yeah. As well as that, each Swan River Half, we partner with a charity which we raise funds for, and they often have a stall in that area as well, so then they can share more about what they do, and we can support them in that way as well.
This year we're supporting Under His Wings, a non-for-profit from Armidale that particularly focus on the issues of homelessness and addiction and help people who are in situations of need. So Under His Wings is our charity partner for 2026 at the Swan River Half, and we're a non-for-profit organisation, and so all of the funds that we raise go back into the community to whichever volunteer organisation that we're supporting as our charity partner for the year.
And Under His Wings, they're dealing with stuff that's super important in society right now.
Absolutely. Homelessness, we all know that that's an issue here in WA, or probably everywhere in the country. Homelessness is an increasing issue for so many people, and providing emergency accommodation and support for people in that situation is just so crucial. Addictions are something that's always sadly with us. That's not a new problem, but it's a continuing problem, and it affects not only the people who find themselves experiencing addiction, but also families and children of those people. So it's a wonderful choice this year that we've put together. We want to help the community, and this is one way that we can give back to the community and help people who are experiencing need. Since 2020, we've also raised just over $80,000 for the charity partners that we support. There are many charities in the community that have benefited from the contributions of the Soul Runners community, which is not us as a committee, it's everyone who comes along and supports our events. That's a lot of money for people who are in need.
Absolutely, and it's going directly to the places that it can make a difference.
Indeed. So since 2020, Paul, we've supported Villages of Life, the Pindari Restoration House, Riding for the Disabled in Oakford, the Essentials Collective, Shalom House, Pregnancy Pathways, and as I mentioned before, Under His Wings, which is our charity partner for 2026, dealing with homelessness and addictions.
So you're addressing a wide range of issues within society with what you've done.
Absolutely. One of the other things that we do in the Swan River Half to make it really accessible and family friendly is we've got super discounted prices for children. And so for the 5K and the 10K event, $20, $30, is that right, Joash?
Oh, you've caught me out on this
Yeah,
one.
I've caught you out
I
on
don't
that.
actually know what there is a discount for children.
Yeah, so one of the things that we've done to make the Swan River Half really accessible for families is to have very discounted prices for children. So families can participate as a family. Everyone can, including the children, can take part. They get a finisher's medal, which is just an encouragement to the kids. The kids are so excited to get a finisher's medal, and we've kept that at absolute bare bones cost. We're just covering our costs for the children, just to make it possible that families can participate as a whole, rather than it just being something that mum or dad might do, or an older child. Everyone can participate.
That's fantastic. It's quite good that kids get the finishers medal, because I've seen adults who have like racks of finishers medals. It's a real collector's type thing that people do, and that encourages them to keep going and doing more.
It spurs them on, it gives them inspiration to keep going. It's kind of irrational in some ways that we would do something just for a little bit of metal that we're probably going to put on a wall and we're never going to see it again. We're not going to do that, but the joy and the sense of accomplishment that children get, having a medal placed around their shoulders, I think it just makes their day, and it's just one of the things that makes Swan River Half a fantastic event for the whole family.
That's an excellent part of that endeavour, I think, to have that.
One of the main reasons we can keep the prices low for families is due to our amazing sponsors that support us, many of them year on year. They help contribute to the cost of running the event, and in turn we like to share a bit about their business on our social media, and we promote their brands on the event apparel. Each year we have a special event t-shirt, usually a specific color each year, and that changes each time. That's also something that's really exciting. People love to collect all the different colors of the shirts and try and keep the whole collection, and it's really exciting having all the different types of shirts each year.
So it's not just medals that people are collecting, it's the different coloured shirts as well. And of course your listeners can't see Paul, but we're sitting here, I'm wearing the purple shirt, Joash is wearing the lime green, fluoro lime green shirt, and yeah, people love to get a collection of all of them.
Yeah, that's right. Are these the Soul Runner shirts, or are these actually the Swan River Half shirts?
This is the Swan River Half shirt, and we haven't done a shirt for Trailblaze, also just to keep the cost of Trailblaze to an absolute minimum so that everyone can participate.
That's excellent. So we've been meeting up at Black Swan Lake Parkrun, and you can see photos of the shirts there for sure. over the few weeks that we've caught up before doing this interview.
Absolutely, you'll see Joash powering around the course, looking just like he's just living the dream. You'll see me, like, lots of effort on my face. This was the fastest park run I've done in a long time. I'm normally at Mundy Regional Park Run, which is, as your listeners might know, the easiest park run in Perth. It's probably the hardest park run in Australia. Lots of elevation. I don't normally do flat and level, so this was an all-out effort for me, and you might see that on some of the photos that you took this week, Paul.
We'll have to see the photos and check them out. I'll do my best to make you look your best too.
The first 500 registrations this year get a free event t-shirt. That's one of the things we've done to incentivise people to sign up, and as of the date that we're recording this podcast, I think over 80% of those shirts have been already allocated, and so that's within just a week of registrations opening. So hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, if your listeners are interested in signing up, there might still be some available. They're available for purchase after that initial 500. You can go to our website, soulrunners.net, and you'll see the link to register for next year's Swan River Half.
So Trailblaze is the other one? Where is Trailblaze?
So the Trailblaze is another event that we run. That's a less formal event, a lot smaller, and it's held south of Perth in the Armidale area, in the Wollongong Regional Park. And that one we have about 200 runners, and we offer a 5k course, a 6.5k course, and an 11-kilometre course. The Trailblaze isn't raising funds for a charity, but it's just a lot smaller, basically trying to cover the cost of the event itself.
Who's the target audience for Trailblazer?
Trailblaze is great for anyone wanting to give trail running a shot. It's brilliant entry level into trail running. The distances are short enough that anyone can complete it. Although the 6.5-kilometre course and the 11-kilometre course does have quite a lot of elevation, so it's a really good challenge for anyone to complete. You tend not to look at your watch as much when you're running that because the hills slow you down a lot, but you just take your time and you enjoy the scenery, and it is a beautiful part of the creation that we're in.
Wollongong National Park is a wonderful place to be, isn't it? Right on the scarp there.
Absolutely.
Andrew and Joash, what does it take you to be a soul runner?
I think it takes a desire to give back to the community. We've been incredibly blessed. We've got amazing bodies that God's made, and we've been made that we can do incredible things like running, and we want to see other people have an opportunity to enjoy that. And so it takes a desire to want to give back to the community by organising events. Within our committee structure, we've got a number of people involved in organising different aspects. So we utilise people's gifts. They've got different gifts. We all contribute something to bring these events together. But anyone can participate in any of our events. Sign up. That would be a great place to begin. Come along to the Swan River Half this year in May and run the event. See what you think. We are always in need of volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers on the day, and all you need in order to be able to volunteer is a willingness to help. We'll find something that anyone can do. Children even are involved in volunteering. Maybe they'll be a marshal along with a parent. Come along on the day. We need, how many volunteers do we need, Joash?
About 50 volunteers to run the Swan River Half.
We need 50 volunteers every year to put on the Swan River Half, from marshalling, helping at aid stations, assisting with logistics on the day. There are lots of different roles that anyone could participate in. If anyone would like to be involved, if anyone would like to volunteer this year, they could go to our website, soulrunners.net, and find a link to be in touch with our committee. We'd love any assistance that anyone listening to your podcast, Paul, would like to contribute.
It's amazing how an event with enough hands actually doesn't require a lot from any individual. When I say require a lot of specialised skills. There's marshalling is being able to stand around, smile, clap, point people in direction and look around and just think, okay, things are running smooth or things are not running smooth. It's about all you need to do, isn't it?
Absolutely. Many hands make light work. I reckon marshalling is one of the coolest volunteer roles that somebody can do, because you're there as a supporter. You're seeing people trying their best. They're working incredibly hard. I remember the first time I ran the Swan River Half, not this year but last year. That was my first involvement with Soul Runners, and there were some volunteers at one of the road crossings near the finish line, and they were clapping, and I thought to myself, they must have sore hands by the end, because they were clapping everyone coming through, and that gave me motivation to keep on going. It was the longest I'd ever run at that point, and it was just wonderful having people there supporting you on. So you might think that being a marshal is like a very low-key, easy role, and it is in some ways. You don't need a lot of skills, but it's really crucial, and it really gives people the energy they need to keep on going and do and accomplish more than they thought they were capable of doing.
Also, going back to how everyone contributes to making the run possible, that's true with needing lots of volunteers to fill those roles, and it's also true on a committee level as well. There's lots of different things that need to be organised before the event, such as there's multiple approvals that we need from local authorities. The shirts and medals and trophies need organising. There's social media advertising, there's work with our sponsors, and we share that load across the whole committee, and we work together really well to ensure that everyone chips in and does their part to make the Soul Runners events possible.
Whatever your skill, there's something that you can contribute to. Even if it's sorting out the shirts when they arrive, because imagine they all get put together and bundles for people to come and pick up their numbers, I guess, and
Pick up
stuff
the
like
race,
that.
yeah. Pick up the race bib, pick up their shirt, all those sorts of things.
Yeah, packaging them up for the individuals so they've got what they expect to get, and actually handing it to them. And I imagine that's a great fun part as well. You get to actually talk to a whole bundle of runners coming along.
Yeah, so usually we offer a few different bib pickup locations in the week leading up to the Swan River Half. So that enables people, depending on where they live or work, we provide different locations that they can come and pick up their bib and pick up their t-shirt. And that also helps us on the day, not having to deal with 1,000 runners rocking up at the admin tent wanting to get their bib. We aim to make it as accessible and easy as possible for people to pick it up beforehand.
Excellent. So, Andrew and Joash, what does it actually mean that you can be a soul runner? What does it mean to you, your family, or the community?
So I first got involved in Soul Runners when I signed up to their first event back in 2020, and I enjoyed the event so much that I've been coming back every year, and I really love that I can bring my family down to the event, and they usually cheer me on, as well as getting some of the wider family involved in running and walking at the event as well. And then when the opportunity came to join the committee and help make it possible for more years to come, I was really excited to be able to do that.
So was it something you had thought about or something you were asked to do?
Yeah, so for me, I was asked to see if I could join the committee and help in organising the events, and I was really keen to be able to contribute towards that.
We're recording this in Black Swan Lake Park, and just probably 10 or 15 metres away we've got a kangaroo with a joey, and in between them and us is a tree, and there's about a handful of woolly wagtails having a bit of a conference.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, Paul.
It is. So how did you feel about being invited onto the committee?
So I've done a little bit of event organising previously with other organisations, so I thought that I'd be able to help with my skill set in that, and I was really excited to be able to give back to the community, like Andrew had mentioned before. That was a big part of my motivation as well, and being able to support a family-friendly event.
Excellent. What about you, Andrew?
My story of involvement is a little bit different than Joash's. I began running only about 2 years ago. I'd been to the doctor. My doctor diagnosed me with metabolic syndrome, which is a cluster of symptoms that, like my blood pressure was slightly too high, my good cholesterol was slightly too low, my bad cholesterol was slightly too high. A number of things that in and of themselves are perhaps not a big deal, but clustered together, there was a bit of a risk factor. And so my doctor referred me to a dietitian. I lost some weight. As I did that, I found running got easier and more enjoyable. And then a lady at church encouraged me to sign up for a half marathon. And probably 2 or 3 months earlier, I wouldn't have even been able to run 5K continuous.
Wow. And you went straight to the half.
I went straight to the 21.1K, and I thought, wow, this is going to be something difficult. This is going to be something that's a little bit beyond me, maybe, but something I could work towards, I could train towards and accomplish. And I think I set myself a target time of maybe 2.5 hours. I wasn't sure if that was realistic. On the day, I went out hard. Just the excitement of 100 runners, 200 runners around me had me running at a faster pace than I'd planned, than I'd trained for. And somehow I mostly managed to keep going at that pace. Probably there were about 5 minutes worth of walking, about the 3/4 of the way point. I just found I ran out of energy, but I kept going, and I finished, I think it was maybe 2 hours and 10 minutes, so 20 minutes under my goal time. I don't think I'll ever be 20 minutes under a goal time like that ever again. But that was my journey into running. And actually that same lady from church encouraged me to head out on the trails. And so since that first Soul Runners event, that's been for me a launch point into trail running. I almost do no running on the road at all now, at least certainly in terms of events. And I've taken a very different journey. I've pushed on into the ultra marathon distances. I've run 250 kilometres, a 50 mile, now 100k just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm working towards a 100 mile next year, which is pushing myself into a little bit of an uncomfortable place, somewhere where I'm not sure I can go. But I've found that as I've tackled some of those big distances, I've grown in grit and perseverance, the ability to keep on going. And those are skills that I think are transferable, they're not just skills that are useful in running, but they're transferable to all of life. And so I've grown a lot as I've developed as a runner, as I've pushed on into bigger distances. But the Swan River Half was the very first running event I ever did. And so I came back the year later, just this year, and thought, I wonder if I can get under 2 hours, and I just managed that. So 10 minutes off my time this year. If I ever do it again, I don't think it'll be anywhere near the gains this time round. But having contributed, having come along, the event was special to me because it was my first event. And so I actually approached another member of the Soul Runners Committee, Charles, and after the event, and I said, Charles, I'd love to be involved. Is there a way that I can contribute? And so I was, unlike Joash, who was invited onto the committee, I volunteered and said, hey, I'd love to help and contribute in this way. Will you have me? And Paul, they said yes. And so I've been on the committee now for about 6 months, and I'm just wanting to contribute as much as I can.
That's amazing. And so you've got almost opposite journeys with how you actually connected into Soul Runners. So that shows it's open to everything.
Did you want to talk about how it's on a Saturday?
One of the other reasons I think that I was involved in the Swan River Half to begin with is the first time. I'm a pastor of a church, Paul, and so Sunday's a work day for me. And I don't know if you've ever looked on running websites, you'll find that nearly every marathon and half marathon is on a Sunday. At least 95% of them, I'd say. And Sunday's a work day for me. And so when I found in Soul Runners an organisation that runs running events on a Saturday so that people of faith don't have to choose between the opportunity to participate in a running event or worship, which might be important to them, I thought, this is something that I want to be involved in so that I can contribute and make more Saturday events possible for other people.
Yeah, I was quite surprised when I heard that, because my wife and I, we're at Parkrun every weekend, which is always Saturday morning. And then the Swan River Half is on a Saturday morning as well. So for us, that's always been a challenge, because where Caroline is with her Parkrun, she's right up there on numbers and all these sorts of things. So there's a consistent challenge. We can't miss a week, which makes it hard to go and do the event on the Saturday morning. So we're like, why have they actually put an event on a Saturday morning instead of a Sunday like everybody else? But when you hear the actual reason for it, it's a totally understandable way of going about it, and very much a supportable thing to have that event on the Saturday morning, because it does give people that opportunity and they might not otherwise.
So obviously that's great for people of faith like Joash and myself. It's great for us to be able to have that opportunity. But everyone is welcome at our events, whether you're somebody of faith, whether you're somebody who doesn't have a faith, everyone's welcome. But it's especially helpful for people who then don't have to make that choice between running, which is something they might enjoy, participating in a family-friendly event, and worship, which might also be something that's important to them.
That's right, and the fact that we didn't even understand the reasoning behind that just shows how open and welcoming the event is. Do you see the event making a positive difference in the lives of people who've come along?
It's made a positive difference in my life, Paul.
I don't have a specific example, but I know plenty of friends and people in my life who have never been into running and then have signed up to the Swan River Half for the first time, whether it might be the 5k or 10 or 21, and these people start getting active in February because they have to start training for this event, which is usually around April. And then after the event, the training might continue, it might drop off, but then these same people are really encouraged to get active again in that time of the year, in February, March, because they've got this Swan River Half coming up again. So I've seen the positive difference in the lives of people around me who love to participate in the event, and it motivates them to get out and run and train for the event in the weeks and months prior.
It's a beautiful thing to see people who start running and never thought they would be runners, but they give it a go because of something that happens, and then they actually go, well, that actually wasn't too bad. And if they keep going at it, they start to see benefits, like they actually feel better, they feel good after they run, and they start to lose weight and it gets a bit easier. And it's amazing to see people coming through that in their life and understanding that doing stuff, getting out there and running and so on, is actually a super good thing to be doing for yourself. Yeah.
I'm one of those people, Paul. I took up running just 2 years ago. Swan River Half was my first event, and just a couple of weeks ago I ran 100k. And if you'd asked me if that was possible, I would have told you, tell him he's dreaming. That's just like so out there, so incredible. That really launched me into running, and I've just never stopped.
Yeah, that's it. And you talked about listening to Aaron, who we interviewed just a couple of episodes ago. And he said a very similar thing about the amazing distance and time that he ran. And you feel the same exactly about what you've been able to achieve as well.
Absolutely. There are a number of people who've taken up running. They've just decided to run something, and maybe the Swan River Half will be like that for some of your listeners. You come along, you do something that once upon a time you thought might have been outside your capacity, and you discover that you're capable of more than you realised you were capable of.
Yes, it's amazing. We've seen people doing that, living that through their lives, and it's really good to see that happening.
You've interviewed Phil Gore on your podcast before as well. Lazarus Lake, who created the backyard format that Phil excels at, said, "A man doesn't know how far a man can run until he runs as far as he can run."
Yeah, exactly. Well, Phil's angle on that was like, you never know if, like Phil, many times he's been the last one standing, so he's the only one that doesn't know his limit.
We're still waiting to find out what Phil's limits really are.
Exactly, yes.
So me and my dad have been running at park runs together for many years now, and none of the rest of the family really got too involved. But then when they started signing up to the Swan River Half, then they started getting active and getting involved in running, and they thought they should do some training for this event that they've signed up for. Then the rest of my family started coming to parkrun on Saturday mornings as well. And Then after the Swan River Half event was over, then they've continued to come to parkrun with me and Dad, and it's become a really, really nice family event every Saturday morning that we like to go to parkrun together. We either run or walk the parkrun, and then we often have a coffee afterwards with most of the family, and that has had a really positive impact on the relationships that we have as a family. And it's all because they started getting active in the Swan River Half.
So it's directly driven a closer family unit. You're not seeing them day by day necessarily, but you're actually catching them up on a more friendly basis.
Yeah, it means we're catching up at least once a week now, which is brilliant.
And sharing something. Running's a great thing to chat about. Spent many hours in coffee shops talking to people, just talking running. It's amazing. Thank you very much for coming on to Forest.chat, Andrew and Joash. It's been great having you here, and all Forest.chat listeners wish you the best with your future endeavours.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. It's been great to be here.
Thank you. You've been listening to Forest.chat, where we talk about individual endeavour in Western Australia, what it takes, what it means, and how you do it. I'm your host, Paul Vandermeer, and in today's episode we've been talking with Andrew Nugteren and Joash Dekker about soul runners. Remember, there are 4 ways to get involved with Forest.chat. Share the domain Forest.chat with your friends and family and people you meet. Listen to the episodes at forest.chat/episodes. If you do something interesting or that other people may find interesting, book an interview at forest.chat/interview. If you want to support a small business, book an advert at forest.chat/advert. I'm looking forward to joining you with our next guest. Until then, enjoy making it happen.